Adventure in Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Welcome to Rockville. North America's largest rock festival is finally here.
This is Pipeman here on the Adventures of Pipeman W4CY Radio, and I'm here with
Jordan
and Cyrus of Newfound Glory.
Yeah.
Yes. Here at Welcome to Rockville.
Yeah.
And I noticed you're looking at my battle vest.
Yeah, I was wondering what this was all about.
So this is from the 80s, okay?
Yeah, I see the SOD down there.
It's been in my closet. Believe it or not, at Aftershock.
Yeah.
They're doing, they're doing the tribute to SOD.
Yeah,
It's with with Scott's kid.
Yep.
And Jamie Joss just singing.
Yep.
And
I heard all about it.
Danny Lilker, I'm so stoked for that. I've been watching them practice on socials. I'm like,
and they're getting along and everything.
Oh, can't wait.
Great.
So yeah, basically, I just brought this out of the closet for Shiprocked a couple months ago. I'm like, you know what? Since I'm going on Shiprock, maybe I'm going to use this in my interviews. And it was such a hit, so now I'm bringing it to all the festivals.
Nice. Yeah.
Because unlike today, you buy one of these, they're already pre-made.
Yeah.
As you can tell, I made it.
Yeah.
It's got I drew all over it.
Peeling, man.
Yeah, and
That's because they're real.
it's wild.
As Ian would say, he's not here, but as Ian would say, this is game used.
Yeah, game used. Yeah,
I love
the
it.
Game used guru.
I love it. And it's got blood on here from when I climbed up on Marshall's stack and did a stage dive and the crowd moved while I was in full swan. And obviously you can see the history from the patches in the pit.
Old Metallica patch. That's sick.
Okay, yeah, on Shiprocked, Winston from Parkway Drive was geeking out over this patch.
Yeah.
Because I've never seen a Metallica logo like that. It's like, I'm like, that's because it's before they even had an album.
Yeah.
Slayer didn't even have a patch back then, so I just did it myself.
Yeah.
And in LA, it was funny. People used to think I was a gangbanger, and that was my gang name.
I could see you as a Slayer.
See?
You look like a Slayer.
There you go. Thanks. That's a compliment. How's it feel to be here at the Daytona Speedway? Did you guys drive on the Speedway?
I did, yeah.
How cool is that?
Our friend Josh gave me a ride to the show today, and we were getting escorted by this other car in front of us. And Josh was like, "I'm just gonna do it," and he goes on the bank.
Nice.
You guys didn't flip over?
No.
Well, you obviously didn't go in the real one. You got to go 80 miles per hour to stick that.
Yeah.
I have a Jeep, okay? 80 miles per hour,
Yeah.
I'm still not sticking. I'm flipping. In fact, a couple years ago, I was here and I asked the head of media who I'm friendly with. I knew the answer. I was just playing around.
Yeah.
I got my skateboard in my Jeep, which I do now, too. I'm like, will I lose my media credential if I go and skateboard on the wall? She's like, yeah, probably. I'm like, okay, I'll wait till after the festival. But you stand on that wall and you fall down. I would have broken a million bones if I put my skateboard on that wall.
So crazy.
Yeah, we're obviously from South Florida, and I ironically used to vacation in Daytona Beach Shores when I was a kid.
Oh, cool.
The hotel I'm staying at is maybe 5 buildings away from where I used to stay. Yeah, and I took a tour here one time. I probably was 12 years old, and I remember they had the Pace van that we went in. They wouldn't drive up on the incline, but they stopped and let us walk up the incline or try to. And yeah, it is insane, that angle. And then today, like Jordan was saying, driving, I rented a minivan. I had my wife and kids with me, so there was no way I was even trying to get on that incline. But it was fun. I checked my tires. I did the back and forth steering. I'm sure the person that was escorting us was like, what are you doing?
I know, right?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome to drive on this track. Such an iconic place.
You don't get to do that often doing a festival, do you?
This is actually my first time being in this raceway. And
Really?
Yeah, and I grew up in South Florida and never came to Daytona.
Wow.
My whole
I think
life.
the first time I was in this speedway was the first time I did Welcome to Rockville.
Yeah.
When we moved from Jacksonville.
Uh-huh.
People might be listening to us being like, oh, you're crazy. Daytona is such an iconic or such a famous beach. Why did you never go there? But a lot of people, especially people that aren't from Florida, don't realize that most of Florida is just amazing coasts.
Right.
So we grew up in South Florida. We had beaches 3-4 miles from us, and they're amazing beaches as well.
Yeah.
I came up here to a vacation because I have some family that grew up in DeLand and Deltona and these areas. So this is where we all hung out.
My ex-wife's best friend, who I'm still really close with, she lives in Deltona. Not many people know Deltona.
My grandparents, they were in Deltona. I grew up going to Deltona every month or two.
That's so wild, because how many people could we talk to in South Florida and mention Deltona and they would even know where it was?
Yeah, they don't know anything past West Palm Beach or something.
Do you mean Daytona? No, I don't mean Daytona. Trivia question for you. The seats are colored. Why?
Why?
It's funny. I think my kid was asking me this earlier, and I don't know the answer.
Is it to make it look like there's people in the seats or something? Okay.
Absolutely.
That's what I said. Ding, ding.
You look at that TV, and it looks like it's full.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
I had to explain, though, why right here underneath his World Center Racing building, why it's black and white. I'd explain that to my son because of the checkered flag. And because he was like, how come they stopped all the colors? But yeah, it's crazy to think that this can hold, I don't even know the number, but what is it, over 100,000 or something?
Something like that.
We have all been to sporting events, and there's a lot of people at those, but this is way bigger. And you don't realize it until you're standing right here, the magnitude of this.
Or you're walking the whole track like I've done. Like, oh my God. Like, you talk about, you get a month's worth of steps in doing this track.
Is that where you came from just now? Because you were running, and it looks like you were out of breath. Did you decide to walk the track? Or?
His mom wanted to go get her hair braided. There's some booth out there. So I escorted her out to the festival, and I saw I had a minute. So I was like,
I appreciate that. I feel bad that you had to.
I don't feel bad. See, I wasn't breathing hard either. I could still do the
interview.
interview.
Before, huh?
It's festival life, right? I do festivals all over the U.S., UK, and Europe, and so I'm used to it. Like one festival I did in South Florida, well, not South Florida, Okeechobee Fest. That weekend, I had to walk 85 miles. Like literally.
Back and forth?
Yeah, because they had, you have to camp there because I live on Singer Island. I might as well stay at home because the hotel is nowhere near those cow patches and the traffic's horrific. They put media camping like miles away from the media tent. Like, what are you thinking? And then it's 24 hours a day. So I had bands that are like, hey, my set's at 2. Can you do the interview at 3? Yeah. Okay. So
never been to that fest, but I do hear it's pretty crazy when you take it over.
It is pretty crazy. It's not necessarily my genre, but I did have a wake-up call because I'm like, why do people go see DJs as a concert? Like, I thought that was weird until I saw it. And I'm like, oh, I get it now. It's not my genre, but it's like it was really cool and fun, and they put on such a great show. So that's why everybody has to experience festivals and different things and stop being like that gatekeeper mentality of, oh, I don't like that. Because you know what? There's plenty of bands I don't like that I'd love to see them live because there's nothing better than live music.
Yeah, for sure.
How about you guys? Who are you looking forward to seeing, or do you have any time here at Welcome to Rockville?
I was looking forward to seeing Candlebox, but we're playing at the same time.
Yeah,
that's a usual thing for festivals.
TikTok says, that's rude. That's so fucking rude.
Yeah, it's so rude. How are they playing?
I'm a little bummed, like so many others, that Alice in Chains can't be here. Obviously, being a drummer, I wish the best to Sean Kinney. I stood next to him at a concert one time. That's the closest I've ever been. We grew up, and I think a lot of us, when we started this band or started playing instruments or getting into music, was like the early to mid 90s. So there's so many. This lineup is amazing. It's so big. Obviously, no way to see everybody. But even just looking at like the first 2 stages, the amount of bands like your Candleboxes and Alice in Chains that was supposed to be here, but then our stage has Green Day, Sublime now is on there, Bowling for Soup, Lit, The Good Charlotte's on the other stage. This is insane, the amount of bands that are on here.
No doubt. And I feel like today is like Warped Tour Day.
Yeah,
right?
like that a little bit. Yeah.
And it's like
nice mix of genres.
It's cool. And it's like a lot of the bands that did play in Warped Tour are playing.
There are people working for the festival that were from the Warped Tour crew.
That's wild.
Like Big Kenny's here. A bunch of people.
That's wild. I love that.
And then I just realized there was one band I didn't mention that's on our stage, and I'm very excited to see, and that band is Jimmy World. And the reason why I'm really excited to see them is because we are going to be spending the summer together with them and The Offspring starting in July, going all around the U.S. And that's a band that we all grew up as fans of.
Canada.
That's right, Canada. Forgot about that. There you go. Nicole over here is excited. Yeah, so we're going all over North America, should I say that? Besides Mexico.
What a badass
But
lineup.
yeah, we'll be with Jimmy World and The Offspring all summer. So excited to see Jimmy World here. Say hi to them. It's been a little while, and get ready for the summer.
What a great tour that is. What else do you got coming up that's cool like that?
In 4 days, we leave for the UK for Slam Dunk Festival, UK Europe Slam Dunk, and then come home for a little bit. We got Phase Fest in Kansas City. Have you guys been to Phase Fest?
Not a Phase Fest, I think is what they actually call it.
Sorry, not a Phase Fest. It's us and Taking Back Sunday and a bunch of other bands. And,
I haven't been to that one.
Yeah. It looks like a good one.
That sounds cool.
And then right after that, what's after that?
The Offspring Tour.
Yeah, the Offspring Tour. Yeah.
Nice.
And
it's pretty long.
And then shortly after the Offspring Tour, we'll have a new record come out. We just wrapped up recording a record literally about, 2-3 days ago.
Wow.
And came straight here. So that's being mixed and mastered right now, and that should be out in the fall sometime. So we have a new single, 100%, that's out right now that will most likely be playing on stage today. And yeah,
I was stupid because we were in Nashville recording for 4 weeks. not even in Nashville, in Franklin, in the middle of nowhere. Franklin, Tennessee. Flew home for 2 days. I live in San Diego, so I flew all the way back to San Diego, then flew all the way back to here.
Oh, man.
After 2 days. I should have just stayed in Tennessee or something.
Frequent flyer miles.
I
Why
know.
can't I say that?
I
There you
know
go.
that whole feeling. I was at Song Temple, flew back,
Yep.
drove up here. I'm driving back home
Yep.
like Sunday night so that I can get ready to go out to punk rock bowling in Vegas. And it's like, it's cool because it'll be the first time in a couple months I'll be home for 4 days. And
Yeah.
I'll just seclude. You know how it is. It's,
Yep.
You love going out there doing it. And when you get home, it's like, I don't want to see nobody.
Yep, yep.
I'm just going to chill.
We're used to it. Pre-COVID, we were going to like all these overseas places like sometimes twice a year. So like we're used to it.
Yeah, like I do Download, I do Hellfest, I do Bloodstock.
Yep.
One of my daughters, my youngest daughter, she's always like, she'll come to festivals with me, and like half of the first day she's like, Dad, I don't know how you do this every weekend. I'm done already. And I'm like, I don't know how I don't. Like you're saying, it's like it just becomes a way of life. You don't even think about it. It's like your way of life.
And then festivals like this, obviously we've had amazingly such kind of a long career, and it's you see all of your friends here. Like Jordan was saying, we're running
I
into
always
people
say
that work
that.
the Warped Tour we haven't seen in years, bands you know, people you don't even realize are going to be here you end up seeing, and you always usually meet new people too, which is really cool. So yeah, it's for us, it's one thing because we're working and we have our mindset of what to do, and we have fun seeing people. My wife and kids are in our trailer right now just soaking up that AC, and I don't know if they're going to leave again. They might not even watch us play. They might just listen and stay in the AC, but I don't blame them because it is Florida and it's humid.
It is super hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I always want to know, bands like you that have been doing this forever, and now you have new music come out. Man, I'm always in awe of how you can actually come up with new songs or new riffs or anything like that. Like, how do you do it? I just think at some point you run out.
Yeah. I think you just change the chords a little bit.
Yeah, here, cool thing about
Down
music.
tune, up tune.
Look, anybody who is a fan of music, when you listen to songs, they usually invoke an emotion, right? Or maybe
Yeah.
they remind you of a certain time period in your life and stuff. And so when we write music, a lot of it just sparks from an idea. And that idea could be anything, and then you go on a journey with it. And yeah, you make some creative decisions, but nobody really knows the answers. It's just about maybe how you're feeling that day or
Yeah.
what's going on in your life at that time. And so that journey is always going to be different. And that's where a band like us, luckily, between all of us, there's enough kind of random creative ideas
I love
that
it.
can start something. And I think we have such a relationship with each other. We can finish any idea that we start.
I
Whether or
love
not
that.
it's like good enough to release, that's a whole other story. But we do enough of these, and we put them together in an album. And then you go out on stage and you play. I mean, we have 11 records after this comes out, 11 full-length records to choose from, plus EPs. It gets hard to pick a set. You can go out live and play the same 30, 40 songs a year, and then you still have 70, 80 others that you've done,
Right.
and you can put them in and mix and match. And yeah, it's ever-changing.
That's pretty cool. And I love how you're talking about the chemistry, like finishing each other's creativity, because not every band has that. And I think that's part of the problem. After a while, they don't really like each other or whatever, and they're doing it, and you can't really get creative when you're not in that mode.
Yeah.
So that's cool to hear.
Yeah.
So anything else you want to let the listeners know that we haven't covered already?
That we haven't covered? We covered a lot so far. Yeah, I don't think that.
If they haven't gotten it from now, I'm assuming you're from Florida because you said you live in Singer Island, so South Florida as well, right?
Yes.
So we are from South Florida, just in case nobody knew. Coral Springs is where we came from, and a couple of us still live down south. So being in Florida, even though this is Daytona, it's still cool to be in our own home state and to
Yeah.
know that there's such a huge festival.
He got to drive here today.
I know, right? That's how I felt like driving there. I'm like, this is cool driving here because when you go on planes that much and shit, it's nice to just have my vehicle. It's nice to be parked back there,
yeah.
and I can take my bag, and when I'm done today, put it in there instead of walking around the festival all night with a 50-pound bag on my back.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
We've had a long career. It's amazing. There's no end in sight, which is crazy. And to know most bands, last maybe 3 or 4 years if they're lucky. We're like year 28 right now. And yeah, still doing new music, still having so much fun up on stage and getting to play new festivals for us, at least like this. This is awesome.
You still have the excitement. That's what I love. Like, I interview a lot of bands. Not everybody's that excited after 20, 30, 40, whatever years.
Yeah.
So that's cool to hear, and I think that's why you guys are still creative, and that's cool.
Yeah.
Don't talk to us at whatever 5:05 right after we get off stage. We're at 4:25, I think, on the Apex stage. Even though we're from South Florida, you never get used to this humidity. So we're gonna for at least.
Feels nice right now, but
I know because we're here.
Yeah,
I was dying after I was done with interviews yesterday
and that
out
black
there.
stage too, like reflecting the heat. Oof.
Totally.
For at least 30 minutes after our set, we might be questioning why we're still doing that, but then it'll go back to us being excited about
There
it.
you go. I love it. And tell everybody how they can reach out to you, check out all your music, tour dates, and merch, because that's how you bands survive, and they better buy it.
Newfoundglory.com is our website. Newfoundglorystuff.com is our merch site. I mean, we all have Instagram, all that stuff, so... Yeah, at Newfound Glory.
Yeah, and doing what we can to stay relevant, to keep the content going, and you'll see highlights of this show and all the other travels we do throughout the year on those socials. So
I love that website address, Newfound Glory Stuff.
NewfoundGloryStuff.com.
That is the best ever.
Yeah, that's where all our merch goes. So.
Well, thanks a lot, guys, for being here at Welcome to Rockville, and for you taking that 3-hour drive to get here.
It was okay. It wasn't that bad. My kids loved it because they got out of school today.
I know.
School, so.
Nice.
Yeah, he's probably the star of his school. Like, I can't go to school today. I'm going to Welcome to Rockville. So, yeah, thanks for being on the Adventures of Pipeman.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
What's up? I am Jordan from Newfound Glory.
And I am Cyrus from Newfound Glory, and you are listening to the Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.